All right, we're back. So let us spin the wheel and see what we're playing for the second league today. Sunforger combo. Okay, then. All right, so for those unfamiliar, basically what we're trying to do is the deck has Fervent Champion, which basically makes equip costs cost 3 less. So if you have an equip cost that's 3 or less, it becomes free. Then we have the card, where is Sunforger? Sunforger, which equips for 3, so it's free to equip, and unattaches for red and white. So when you unattach it, you get to search your library for red or white instant card with mana value 4 or less and cast it without paying its cost. So if you have Fervent Champion in play and Sunforger and you have 4 mana, you go unattach Sunforger, go grab Repeated Reverberation, which copies the next instant or sorcery that you cast twice. You then use your remaining 2 mana to re-equip Sunforger, unattach it, and you go find Monomorphose, which lets you do Sunforger again. So basically, you're going to use Sunforger to unattach and find Repeated Reverberations and Monomorphoses to keep grabbing more mana. And then eventually you're going to Repeated Reverberation for another Repeated Reverberation. So the first one copies the second one twice. Then you can Repeated Reverberation again. And then you can just go grab Lightning Bolt, and then you can bolt your opponent for 21. Or however much copies you're getting at that point. Now, you also get to do other interesting things, which is because Sunforger can go find any red or white instant. That means you can grab Reprieve, you can grab Soul Partition, you can grab Surge of Salvation, or you can just bolt something if you need to. And then, of course, the rest of the deck is Ragavan, Esper Sentinel. You've got Stoneforge Mystic to go find these equipments in the first place. Fervent Champion is also just good with Sword of Fire and Ice when it's free, or you can grab Cauldra. Ranger Captain can find your Fervent Champion or Esper Sentinel or Ragavan as needed. So that is the basic breakdown of the deck. And then in the sideboard, we of course have all sorts of stuff. Barrington Forge Tender, which can be grabbed via Ranger Captain. We have Silence, which is also a card that you can grab off of Sunforger. So if your opponent is playing some kind of Storm combo deck, you can silence them in response. More Surges of Salvation, Hallowed Moonlight, which is also, again, fetchable off of Sunforger. Rest in Peace. Boil is fetchable off of Sunforger, so you can boil island decks, or you can boil Amulet Titan and Scapeshift in response to Dryad of the Elysian Grove being in play and kill all of their islands. Blood Moons, of course, Wear Tear, and then Boros Charm, which is also fetchable off of Sunforger, so you can indestructible your entire team. All right, so let us begin. Sunforger combo, let us play the league. 5 lands and 2 spells seems pretty bad. Let's mulligan. This hand also seems incredibly bad. We have Repeated Reverberation, which we never want in our hand. We have Cauldra and no Stoneforge. Mulling to 5 is always so bad, though. Do we keep this? We have 1 piece of interaction, and then we can't do anything until turn 3. And then Cauldra will cost 4 to equip, but we can't even get it into play. Yeah, this is a mulligan. Okay, let's keep. And do we just put back both the white cards? Just play Ragavan on turn 1, and then if it gets killed, we play the second Ragavan? I guess so. All right, Den, Ragavan, proceed. Snow Plains, eh? Well, I guess we're just going to play double champions. All right, what do we exile? Snow-covered plains. All right, I have no idea what we're playing against. Another snow-covered plains. Is this Shining Shoal deck? That's all I can think that it would be. He's a first strike, right? Yeah, okay. I guess we can attack with everything because Shinka can give Ragavan first strike. So yeah, attack with everything. Evoke Solitude. All right. They're going to hit Ragavan. All right. Joke's on you. I have another Ragavan. And now we're empty-handed and our opponent has 5 cards. So I guess we'll see if we can get there. Skyclave, I assume that's hitting Ragavan as well. Well, if I activate Den, it can just get blocked by Thalia. So I guess I should crack Sunbaked, see what I draw. All right, another land. Fantastic. Well, just keep attacking then. I mean, I would assume this is the Shining Shoal deck because it's all mono white, mono base. I guess we just want to thin our deck, so we'll play that. Go. Leonin Arbiter. Oh, I should have fetched in response. Whoops. I guess it doesn't entirely matter with Ghost Quarter in play. That's going to be quite the obnoxious stacks piece for our Sunforger. So, pay 2 life. We can pay Arbiter's thing, and then we can fetch. Doesn't really matter, though. I guess I'm not unattaching it in the same turn, but that makes us use our treasure token, so I guess screw it. Let's just play Sunforger, equip here, and now we have a 5/1 first striker. All right, and we get a 1/1 illusion. Their opponent is not ghost quartering us. Yikes. Ghost quarter and demo field. 5 mana, hardcast Solitude. Yep. Things are not going well. So if we don't draw anything, then it's just equip Sunforger. That's interesting. That's interesting. Even if we equip Sunforger, we're not winning the race because Solitude can keep beating in. So we can equip Sunforger and then not attack, and then unattach it next turn to try to do something. So we probably have to pop this treasure, but then they can double Wasteland us essentially with these two. So maybe the correct move is play Esper Sentinel and then Sunforger on the Sentinel. Yeah, that seems like the only move. First deck right off the bat, we own an Arbiter. So we can get triple Wastelanded. And they can Ghost Quarter us, and then we can't pay anymore. Soul Partition. We only have 1 mana, which is going to get taken out next turn. So I think we're pretty screwed here. Can't cast spells for free. Oh, and they have this too. So yeah, our Sunforger tech is just not going to work in this matchup. If we ever do draw out of this and not draw the third Arid Mesa. And they found another Ghost Quarter, so even if we draw a land, which we did, they can just Ghost Quarter it. But we have to anyway. Alright, now they're going to. Sure. Alright, let's draw 2 lands back to back that are not fetch lands. Sarah Paragon, which will allow them to cast Skyclave next turn. Or they can put lands into play with this, right? You may play a land or cast a permanent. Alright, well, we're dead. Let's just go on to the next one. Okay, what do I want? They're mono white, so none of this matters. Blood Moon doesn't matter. Boros Charm doesn't matter. And these don't matter. So nothing at all that we can sideboard in. Is there anything bad in our main? I guess Surge of Salvation doesn't do... Well, is this hexproof? You remember 2 control to gain hexproof. So this technically protects us from their Ghost Quarters and Demolition Fields, I suppose. So then the only question is there anything in the main deck that's worse than just boarding in more Surge of Salvations? And I don't think there is. Esper Sentinel seems pretty bad, actually, because they just don't have... They barely have any non-creatures to begin with. I think all we saw was Aether Vial. So I guess this. Like literally none of the other cards do anything. I guess Boros Charm also protects our stuff. All right, submit. I would like to be on the play. All right, we got Stoneforge into Cauldra. We also have Lightning Bolt. That seems pretty good. So next turn, play Stoneforge. Yes, pay it, and then play Stoneforge. Go put Cauldra into hand. So I guess they might be Shining Shoal. They're definitely mono white D&T. What on earth just happened? It skipped into my combat step? That's unfortunate. I've just been plagued by mistakes here. All right, well, let's attack with this thing, I suppose. All right, well, we're just holding up Cauldron Fervent, I guess, or Cauldron Bolt. All right, we can still recover. Sure. Pay a life. Let's go grab Plains, bolt this, activate this. All right, so Fervent Champion, hold up Reprieve, swing all out. I think I'm actually going to counter that because if I don't, it makes it more expensive to counter the next thing. Oh, they baited me. All right, what can I do from this point? I guess a whole lot of nothing. I guess I can cycle Monomorphose, or I can just sack Sunbaked Canyon to draw a card. This isn't doing anything right now. So if I just pass the turn, they cast, at least Thalia. Maybe they'll do something else. It just sucks if this mana is going to empty. I guess I at least get to keep up Reprieve. All right, let's just cast this. White. All right, trigger. Let's go grab another Fervent, and then cast Fervent, and then we can attack with both of these. That was so dumb on my part. I should have just, I had the mana to pay for Reprieve even with Thalia in play. I just couldn't think of them, I guess I couldn't think of them doing anything that mattered, as Leonin Relic Warder is not high on my list of cards that matter. And that's fine. My combo does not rely on the graveyard, but it does stop these from attacking, which is unfortunate, but what can you do? All right, so we can no longer attack because Sanctifier just blocks these things. I guess I can attack with Ranger Captain, and then they can double block with Thalia Sanctifier, and then I kill them both. So I guess we can just still keep attacking with Ranger Captain for the time being. I can also draw a card with Sunbaked, but then I don't have the mana to pay for Reprieve. So yeah, let's just attack with Ranger Captain, and then hold up Reprieve. Yeah, we'll definitely counter that. All right, do I have lethal? If I animate Den of the Bugbear and attack with everything, their biggest blocks are Den, Ranger, Fervent Champion, and then they take exactly 4. And the only way it doesn't work is if they have Solitude. On the other hand, if they have Solitude, then the combat math becomes kind of pretty bad, actually. It's probably better to just go for it. All right. And then I think we stick with exactly the same board plan. Esper Sentinels are basically never going to trigger because they barely have any non-creatures, and none of our other cards do anything. So may as well just board in Surge Boros Charm to protect from Skyclave Apparition, a Leonin Arbiter, plus Wasteland effects. So I think we're good. Not keepable. We have 2 Sunforgers repeated, Reprieve, no creatures. No interaction other than Reprieve. So let's mull. All right, this is fine. Keep, and let's put Surge protects from Solitude. You permanents you control gain hexproof. Yeah, okay. Sunforger's not great in this hand because we don't have... Oh, I guess we have Ranger Captain to go find the thing later. So maybe we just put Surge on the bottom. We keep Land Bolt plus Ragavan and Ranger Captain and Sunforge. Yeah, okay. Let's put that back. All right. So my Ragavan to your Aether Vial. Even if they play a creature, even if it's Thalia, I can bolt it out of the way and hit them. They have a tapped land, an Aether Vial on 1, and another Aether Vial. Sure. So I assume this will connect, and we can cast Ranger Captain. What did I exile with this? Giver. Oh, I'm definitely casting that. And then just hold Bolt up, hold Surge up. All right. So now they'll have Aether Vial on 2, plus another 2-drop potentially. But we have multiple pieces of interaction in Surge and Bolt. And then Giver of Room is also going to protect our creature next turn. Casting Thalia. Sure. Do I want to spend the treasure to bolt this now? I think I do. All right. Attack with Ragavan. They can vial something in, but what are you going to do? I guess I can always pro it, whatever the creature is that's going to block. All right. Snow-covered plains. All right. Well, we got to get more action on the table, so grab Fervent and pass the turn. This does leave us in an unfortunate shields down position, kind of, but with Giver of Runes, it's not really shields down. Oh, Stoneforge for Kaldra? Yep. I guess I should probably cycle Monomorphos to try to hit another land. So the creature is black, right? So I can block pro black. That works, right? Kaldra doesn't exile it because it doesn't actually deal the damage. It prevents the damage. If they have Skyclave, they have Skyclave. Like, what, you know, it was going to hit Giver or something else anyway. Archon of Emeria. Yet more stacks pieces that completely screw us. All right, land. And then if I cast Monomorphos, then I can't cast anything else. So I think I'm supposed to attack with Ranger Captain and Ragavan and give Ragavan pro white because I need to get more mana into play. Yeah, like this needs to connect, so. And I'm not racing this Kaldra. Like I can just sit back and block it and give her to the blocker, but then the Archon's gonna keep hitting me, it's gonna keep trampling, so I'll lose the damage race. So I may as well just get in damage with Ragavan. The only other answer is basically vial in something, double block Ranger Captain, and then I can just kill Archon. What's coming in? Stoneforge again. If that's Shadow Spear, then I can't win the race anymore. Sword of Fire and Ice, that's also pretty bad. I think I honestly have to kill Archon first because my whole combo revolves around casting spells. So if Archon's in play, I can't do that. All right, what's off the top? Again, another plains. All right, well, I guess we play... The most mana efficient play is to just cast Sunforger, but then we're shields down without Surge. The Sword of Fire and Ice is going to hit us regardless, so we can counter that ability with Surge. So let's just cast Fervent and pass the turn and hold Surge up to counter the Fire and Ice trigger. Actually, no, they can't equip it, right? They can only Stoneforge it in. I still want to keep Surge up in case they have Skyclave Apparition, because the only way I see myself winning the game at this point is to get Sunforger down and onto Fervent Champion and win that way. And our opponent's at 14, so we can do it. They did nothing, so they're just going to keep their vials up. Ooh, we drew Sword. We drew Sword. If I play Sunforger, I cannot equip it. It's probably better if I Monomorphos first to see if I hit a land. All right, let's fetch and see if they try to vial in Arbiter in response. They do not. So then Monomorphos. Monomorphos doesn't change what I'm doing. Red and white. We can get our own Kaldra, but then what? We're still, like, losing to this Kaldra, which is an issue. Is that the best choice here? Let's just, like, play our Stoneforge, go fetch Kaldra, hold up Surge protection plus Giver protection. Alternatively, play Sunforger, and then try to equip next turn. So Sunforger equip, can't activate it. If they have Skyclave, I can still protect my stuff. So all Stoneforge does is it gets us a blocker, and we don't want to do that. We want to have maximum ability to defend, to like just combo kill them next turn. So I think what we do is we just cast Sunforger, equip here, and then they could have so many things that they could flash in that would make Ragavan attacking bad. So let's just swing here. Yeah, okay. So then this Stoneforge is going to put Sword into play, presumably. Or this Stoneforge, I guess. Sure. All right, go ahead, opponent. 2 Aether Vials. They had nothing to vial in. Hello, Sean. This is currently game 1 of the second league today. So we're on Sunforger combo, and we're versus Mono White D&T. And this is game 3. So they can equip the sword, and then we just cast Surge. Yeah, that's fine. I may as well just take 1 less damage, because I'm going to Surge anyway. So, block. Oh, I can't block with this, because it's pro-red. Yeah, all right. Sure, I take damage, they'll try to shoot me, and then I'll just Surge in response. How do they have 3 cards in hand and nothing to vial in with vials on 3 and 2? So we've got it, right? Unattach, grab repeated, unattach, grab monomorphose, repeat, repeat, repeat. Is this going to be Leonin Arbiter? Because if so, that's a problem. Aye. All right, now what? Because we can't get Cauldron off the board, and that's going to kill us. So I need to pay for Arbiter. So let's see, I can Boros Charm them in the face, putting them to 10, re-equip Sunforger, give it pro white, and then they go to 5, and then they're not dead. Or, because bolting this at this point doesn't do anything, I can cast repeated, and then that just repeated doesn't do anything either. Oh, I can soul partition away the germ, right? Exile target non-land permanent for as long as that permanent remains exiled. Its owner may play it. Exile target non-land permanent for as long as that card remains exiled. So we exile Cauldron. I think that's the only play, right? Exile Cauldron, they get... Oh, no. If I exile Cauldron, the germ sticks around. So I exile the germ. Yeah. So exile the germ token. Equip here. They have 2 creatures, and they get to equip Sword of Fire and Ice, so we have to keep Giver to block. Attacking only puts them to 9. I think it's probably better to just hold back. I could attack with Ragavan, I suppose, and then they have to trade off. But then they just trade... Well, yeah. Attack with Ragavan... And I have to trade it off because I have to keep Giver back to block whatever card they sword onto. Ooh, so the problem is, like, if I attack, they don't even have to block. Let's say they untap, they attack, they equip sword to something. Attack with both. Giver blocks whatever the sword is on. Ragavan blocks the other one, so the only way this fails is if they have a 3-drop to file in, but they didn't have a 3-drop last turn, or a 2-drop, so they just filed this in this turn. I'm gonna go for it. I'm just going to bank on they don't have removal or another creature. Vial went up to 4. Does that mean they drew a 4-drop? Because if they did, then it's Sarah Paragon, which lets them recast a creature, probably Archon. Violin, a 2-drop, okay. Relic Warder to take Sunforger away. Yep. So I assume it would be put Sword onto Arbiter, attack with both creatures. I have to block with both of my creatures, and then I'll give her Fervent pro white for the end of turn. Which lets me next turn do a whole lot of nothing. Because then they have a blocker in Relic Warder. And they still have Arbiter. Yeah, okay. Solitude. Way to slow roll me, opponent. Yeah, so they'll kill Giver, and then I can't block the Arbiter anyway. So, yep. Alright, well, the anti-search, anti-extra spells stacks deck is now down. So let's hopefully get some regular decks. Yes, I would like to play. This hand looks pretty good. How do you sideboard, like, what are good cards to add in this deck? Are you asking about this deck specifically or in general? In general? Well, when you're building a sideboard, you want to identify what are the top decks in the metagame that you need to beat. And do you need to beat the deck's overall strategy, or do you only need to beat specific cards in the deck? How prevalent are those decks? So how many cards in your sideboard do you need to dedicate to them versus anyone else? And then you figure out what cards in your main deck can be cut to bring in those sideboard cards in each individual matchup. So if you watch these leagues, I'll have a ton of examples of sideboarding. Opponent plays Emeria tapped. So it's either another mono white deck or it's Belcher. We exiled Forge. Okay. So it's Hammer probably. All right. Stoneforge. Grab Cauldron. And go. So is running Surgical Extraction a decent idea since One Ring is in every deck? Surgical is not a good answer to the One Ring. Surgical is not a good answer to any non-graveyard card that you're trying to hit. Because you can never guarantee that you're going to get it into the graveyard unless you're playing Mill, where you're 100% going to mill over cards. Then Surgical is good, but it's not good against just like random non-graveyard stuff. Ornithopter. Oh, is this Cheery? Oh, no, it is Hammer. Hammer plays Ornithopter. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's attack with... So let's Stoneforge this in. Do I need to hold up Soul Partition mana? I don't think so. Maybe I do. Yeah, well, I probably do. So Stoneforge, Cauldron comes into play. I have 1 mana up. Attack. I don't think they have any way of responding to me. And then... see if I get a treasure token. I doubt they'll block. All right. Stoneforge, Cauldron to play. I guess they could have Blacksmith skill. I didn't think about that. Yeah, so I should have just played my land first. Exiled Sigarda's Aid. That is actually useful for me. All right, let's put a land into play, and then Let's go grab Sacred Foundry, and then let's cast Sigarda's Aid. Holy crap, is that useful for me. All right, and then we got Soul Partition up to mess with anything they try to do. Best answers to the One Ring are, so the best answers are to prevent the draws from being relevant in the first place. So counter spells, so that they never get to activate it. Anti-artifact activation abilities, so Pithing Needle, Stony Silence, Collector Oof, so they can't activate it. Forge Anew, sure. What else? Cards like Narset, so they can't draw extra cards. Yeah, and then we'll equip. Am I actually fine taking this damage? I think I am, because I deal 5, 9, 10, 11, 13 damage on my turn. All right. So Hammer Time. Okay, so Wear Terror. The Moons, I guess they play Saga, so the Moons can be good. Forge Tender, Silence doesn't do anything except disrupt their combo for like one turn, depending on exactly the pieces that they have. Surge basically doesn't do anything. Hollow doesn't do anything. Rest in Peace doesn't do anything. Boros mostly doesn't do anything. All right, so Reprieve seems pretty bad. All of their spells are really cheap. Surge is also bad. Let's cut Surge, and let's cut Reprieve, and then bring in Moon. Actually, I don't need that Moon. I can bring in this Moon. So yeah, sideboarding, you basically identify, okay, what's bad in this matchup? What can I bring in? I think this is probably fine. I don't think there's anything else I want to get rid of. All right, submit. Esper Sentinel, which is okay, and then expensive equipment, and then nothing else. Yeah, mulligan. All right, we got Stoneforge and 1,000,000 equipment. I'm not bidding Stoneforge. I'm not bidding any of the lands. I want Shadow Spear in case I have to race them. Sword of Fire and Ice can be relevant if I need to kill like Pure Steel or something. So I think Sunforger is probably the worst card in the hand. Although that changes if we draw Fervent or if we need to kill something, but it's going to take a while to get there. So, Now, you know what? We'll bin Sword. I'm thinking if we are on the back foot and we're in a position where they're going to like kill us with a hammer creature, then Sunforger can get us out of that, whereas Sword of Fire and Ice can't necessarily get us out of that. All right, Esper Sentinel. Do I let them draw a card? I don't think so, right? Because I'm going to play Stoneforge and then I'm going to Stoneforge in Cauldra. I don't think there's going to be a window where I can play this where they don't draw a card. But I guess I can let them draw a card later rather than sooner. So let's just play this tapped pass. Because there will be a turn where I have Stoneforge activation plus 1 extra mana left over. So if that's the turn that I need to play, that I can play the Shadow Spear on, then at least they're drawing a card later rather than earlier. I could bolt this, but I think it's more important to Stoneforge. Like, they have to have another artifact plus hammer suit up guy. I mean, I guess they could do that. Maybe it is just better to bolt this right now. Yeah, if they suit a hammer up onto it, then I can't answer it next turn, and then I'm in a position... Well, I mean, I guess I can answer it insofar as I can put Cauldron into play, which can block it, maybe, depending on exactly what's happening. All right, well, we're going to get hammered now, or in 3 turns. All right, I guess they don't have a hammer. All right, double draw off of the Shadow Spear. Well, still not playing Shadow Spear. So good news is that Cauldron blocks everything. The only thing it doesn't block is, yeah, Ornithopter with instant speed hammer. But it seems like they're pretty low on cards and it doesn't seem like they really have anything. So 2 Constructs plus hammer. All right, I'm definitely not attacking them because they're gonna get a hammer next turn. So I guess I'm just passing with Cauldron up. So now they will, I have to do it in response to them sagaing so that they can't go grab Pithing Needle instead. Does Hammer have a way to get through Cauldron main deck? I mean, I guess we're in a sideboard game, so does Hammer have a way to get through Cauldron at all? I guess they're playing white. Oh, they could have Haywire Might or Aether Spell Bomb, potentially. Okay, yeah, they just grabbed a hammer. And they'll suit up Esper Sentinel, presumably. No, Ornithopter. All right. The worst target. Do they just not realize that Hammer makes Ornithopter lose flying? Swing with everything, except this one that just came in. Block this. And then we'll take 7. At this point, I might actually be able to race them, but I don't want to cast any... I don't want to cast anything that's going to trigger Esper Sentinel. All right. Drawing a land was pretty good. So now I can play another Stoneforge and then hold up this Stoneforge activation to put Sunforger into play. Am I actually out of equipment? Hang on. I have Shadow Spear, Fire, Sunforger. Okay. So I have 1 more Sunforger that I can go get. Oh, and Sword of Fire and Ice. Yeah, let's grab Sword and then just pass the turn. So let's see, we activate Stoneforge, put one of the equipment into play, the sword into play, and then untap equip sword. We're going to need more turns, because right now I really only have one blocker for these guys, so still cannot really afford to attack. Forge anew, sure. You may pay 0 rather than pay the equip of the first equip ability you activate during each of your turns. You may activate abilities at instant speed, so they can hammer anything that I don't block. Oy. So they can attack with everything, and then I can go block here, here, and here. And then if they want to get damage through... Oh, I'm actually dead on the board because they do 11. Yep. All right. Game 3. So what would have been the correct move there? I mean, they didn't have Forge anew yet, but it would have been like cast and equip Shadow Spear, and they would have drawn 2 more cards. This is still fine. Boros Charm is not relevant. All right, submit. Play first. We have no lands. This is fine. Do I want to put back the second Stoneforge? I think that would be what I will put back. I want Fervent. I want Bolt to interact with them. I don't see quite a need to hold Bolt up. Their turn 1 play is either going to be Ornithopter or... Ornithopter or Esper Sentinel. Either way, I don't think I care. It's also possible they don't even play a creature, in which case holding Bolt up does nothing. Their turn 1 might be like Land Aid Go. Saga. Gingerbrute. Okay. So do I get Cauldra or do I get Sunforger? I think I get Sunforger, actually. It represents the same amount of damage, but potential of a lethal kill. Cauldra is only better if I'm on the back foot. So next turn, I can Stoneforge and Sunforger, equip it for free, and have Bolt up. They played Saga first, which means either they don't have any other non-Saga lands, or they have Sigarda's Aid, or like some kind of way to free equip, and they don't care that they're going to lose the land because they just want to equip a hammer as fast as possible. Yep, that's what it looks like. They're going to attack. Okay, so they have a hammer already, so I'm not blocking. Oh, they have Shadow Spear. Sure. All right, well, let's just kill this. So now they will get to have 2 mana, potentially 3 if they draw land, but when they go and tutor up their hammer, they don't have anything to equip it to. Or if they're really on the back foot, they might grab like Pithing Needle and name Sunforger so that I can't unattach it, but they'll probably just grab a hammer. Oh my gosh, they have Solitude. All right, sure. What did they exile? Another Solitude. Float 1. I imagine they'll just grab a hammer, right? Now that Fervent Champion's not in play anymore? Yeah. All right. So I guess worst case scenario right now is they have another white land and they go Pure Steel, play a 3rd artifact, equip everything. But the fact that they're not just doing that immediately tells me they don't have that. Otherwise, they would just do it immediately. Okay, maybe they do. If they're going to bolt in a white land. I mean, they have 2 cards in hand. Like, what could be so complex that it's taking them this long? Okay, they do have Pure Steel. And then they just didn't have anything to spend the last bid on. All right. All right, well, we're killing this instantly. I think it's more important to get this equipped than it is to have Den up, because now I can unattach it to answer stuff as needed. Another Pure Steel. All right. Well, I suppose let's attack first. Oh no, let's not attack first. I forgot this didn't have first strike. I'm so used to attacking with this on Fervent Champion. I guess we can attack, and if they block, then we can unattach it at instant speed. They're really gonna block, eh? All right. It's our last bolt. Unfortunate, but yeah. All right, so I screwed that up. I could have gotten more damage in, but we're still, I think, a good position. And we can actually go and tutor for... We can tutor for Wear Tear, but we can't fuse it because it only fuses from hand. 3 mana. Forge anew. All right. Well, let's draw a card. Or is that correct? I have enough mana to unattach and reattach, but I don't have enough mana to do that twice. All right, yeah, let's draw a card. Another Stoneforge. Okay, so land, Stoneforge number 2, Cauldra... And then I'm just going to hold this up because I don't want them to go like Pure Steel, equip everything. I mean, really, I think the only thing they could have drawn is Pure Steel, right? Like, that's the only out. Everything else... Well, I guess it's not the only out because they Forge anew equips for free. Okay. So do I just kill Forge anew in response? I guess I do. As long as it's your turn. Okay, so they have to activate it on their own turn then. Sure. They're equipping Shadow Spear, right? Okay, yeah. Where is the artifact? Yeah, beat Hammer Time with Sunforger. See, who says you need a tier 1 deck to win in Modern? All right, so 1-1 and on to round 3. All right, we have Ragavan, Esper Sentinel, Monomorphos, and 4 lands, which isn't great. Are we on the player draw? We're on the draw. Especially on the draw. This hand's not very good. The Monomorphos could be anything. We have 2 different 1-drops that could be not good depending on what our opponent has. I think we mull. All right, this hand's better-ish. All right, we never want repeated reverberation in hand, so we'll bottom that. Blackcleave Cliffs Ragavan. All right, well, we're 100% bolting that, so pass the turn. I know we have first strikers, but there's no guarantee that they won't have removal. All right, fetch, shock, bolt, bolt. And this lets us turn to double Fervent, or we can hold Reprieve up if needed. Dothy Voidwalker, yep. Well, we cannot block this. I think it's probably better to go... Ragavan is just so much better if we connect with it than Fervent Champion is. So I think it's better to... Like, they almost certainly have removal, right? It seems terrible, but if they have removal, it's all instant speed. So I don't think we hold up Surge. So let's just go Ragavan, Fervent Champion, and attack them. And if they have removal, they have removal. All right, take 3 from Dothy. And they're just going to hold up removal, but they didn't cast it on our turn when we were tapped out. So now we get to Surge them. So let's play this. Attack all. I assume they're going to try to, like, terminate Ragavan. Orcish Bowmasters. All right, Surge. The cool thing is that also counters the triggered ability, so they can't even, they don't even get the token. Surge also prevents all damage to black sources. I keep forgetting Bowmasters is a thing. I need to adapt to it. Oh, Fury. Ugh, that's rough. What'd they exile? Terminate. All right. Well, we got. Oh, and they have Pyromancer or Fable. We would need quite the sequence of draws to get back into this. What would we need? Stoneforge into Cauldron or something? I can draw a card, but then I can only play something that... I guess I should draw a card, yeah. All right, I can bolt Dothy. So that somewhat stems the bleeding. Still taking 3 a turn. Our opponent's still a bunch of cards up. Another Pyromancer. Discarding 2 Malices. All right, we bolt a Pyromancer and then take 6 damage or 5 damage and go to 2, and then they can... Yeah, this is not great. All right, pass the turn. Feign Death. All right. Yeah, there's nothing we can draw that gets us out of this. Let's just go to game 2. So, Scam. So we definitely want Surge. We definitely want Forge Tender. Hallowed Moonlight to get the Evoke guys back from the Undying triggers, but that only works if... It doesn't work on turn 1 when they're going to do it, and it only then does anything if they are Feign Deathing their guys. So, like, against Fury, it really doesn't do much. I guess Silence. Silence isn't great either, though. I guess Rest in Peace shuts off all of their graveyard shenanigans. So what do they have? They can exile Pyromancer from the graveyard as an activated ability. They can Feign Death their guys. Still not great, but I guess Rip could be useful. It's probably not that good, though. All their stuff is also really cheap, except for the Evoke Elementals. So I think I want to keep Reprieve in. Esper Sentinel seems fine. Bolt is good. What else? This matchup's going to be really quick. I don't think the second Sunforger... Ragavan seems atrocious. They have Orcish Bowmasters plus a bunch of removal, but that makes Esper Sentinel not good either. But at least with the other removal, Esper Sentinel triggers. They don't always have the Bowmasters. It's pretty tough. It's kind of like they just have a lot of removal for the cheap creatures in our decks, which makes them not good, but you can't just like cut all your 1-drops. So cut 1 Fervent, 1 Monomorphose, 1 of the Sunforgers, and 1 Reprieve. Yuck. 1 land Ragavan on the play. They can answer that in so many ways, and then we have nothing else to do. Mulligan. All right. I suppose it's better, and we'll bin Marsh Flats. All right. So it's turn 1 Fervent, and then Stoneforge. See, the thing is, like, their deck is just filled with removal, which means that none of our creatures can necessarily stick. So any sort of synergies that rely on them sticking around, like Fervent Champion plus Sunforger, are just inherently worse. Yeah, Ragavan. All right. Let's just go fetch Cauldron. Then pass the turn, so we have 2 blockers up. Now if they kill Stoneforge, we at least have another Stoneforge to cast after that. If they don't kill Stoneforge, then we put Cauldron to play, and they're basically screwed. They don't have an answer to Cauldron. Well, that was probably the best play they could have done. So now we tank a hit from Ragavan. They exiled Bolt. I guess I'm fine if they just bolt me. All right, okay. So let's play Stoneforge holding up Surge to protect it. And now I'll go get Sword or Shadow Spear. I guess Sword. It's close. Push, no. And now I cannot afford to block this. So I have to fade removal for 1 turn. They exiled Repeated Reverberation, which does them no good. Season Pyro. They got 1 shot, or 2 shots to hit removal. That costs 1. Or Fury plus Red Spell. Okay, good. They didn't hit it. So now I just pass. I doubt they'll attack with everything. I mean, if they do, then I just block Ragavan. I take 4, go to 10. They could try to race, especially with another Pyromancer. All right, they're not going to race. Another land. Awesome. Sword into play. Equip Sword. Swing. They can't block. I'll bolt Ragavan. And now they're dead in 1 hit to the Cauldron. Another Pyromancer. All right, game 3. I think we just keep everything the same. Although Reprieve is way, way worse on the draw. But Just like all these X1 creatures are just so bad on the draw too. Like Ragavan, Esper Sentinel. When they have their own turn 1 Ragavans, their own removal spells, especially Fury, makes them really bad. Let me do this. Reprieve back into the main. Rest in Peace is just so marginal here. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Put Sunforger back in. Yeah, there's just not a lot of good options. Maybe I'll just put Monomorphos. All right, submit. Well, we have Stoneforge and we have Kaldra already in our hand. We have no turn 1 play. We have no interaction other than Reprieve. So this hand is kind of like, it's good if Stoneforge survives, but it's not good if it doesn't survive. So Grief, Fury, any number of removal spells all kill the Stoneforge. I really don't think we can keep this on the draw. I don't know, let's see. They go turn 1 something. If they take Stoneforge, our hand's just dead in the water. And then we just have these remands. Yeah, mulligan. This hand is even worse. We cannot even keep this hand. Mulligan. All right, I guess we keep this and put both the reverbs back. Turn 1 Thoughtseize. I don't know what they'll take. Regardless, pretty bad for us. So they know we have Reprieve. What is with this whole going to main phase 2 thing before acting? Like, what is the point of this? Like, you're bluffing nothing. You know my whole hand. You know that I cannot interact with you, so why do the whole fade into the second main? Yeah, all right. What'd they exile? Undying Malice? All right. Well, you can do it again if you want. Culligan's Command, sure. You get my Sunforger. Do I do this now? I guess I don't. I put a stop on their upkeep and then bolt it. All right, well, we both have no cards. My opponent has 2 cards and I have, yeah, all right. So now we're in the top deck war. I think their top decks are probably better. They have stuff like Dothy, Season Pyro. All right, well, strap yourselves in for a long game here. All right, we're both going to keep doing nothing. We're both going to keep doing nothing. But eventually I will be able to cast this Kaldra. Dothy Voidwalker. I need to draw cards, so let's just bounce that. All right then. Land, Sword of Fire and Ice. Proceed. Now our opponent casts Dothy, we bolt it. They're not going to cast Dothy, all right? Oh, they're holding up removal in case we draw a haste creature or in case we draw a creature that we can attach this to, is my guess. Because if they play Dothy and we just immediately hit them, then it's pretty bad for them versus... All right, well, we can almost hard cast Kaldra. Instant speed K-Com, getting back, or doing what? Target player discards, destroy target artifact. I assume they're targeting me and I'll discard this bolt. All right, come on, land. That's untapped. Chat, come on. Come on now. All right, go. Oh, don't have grief, please. Okay, take this. Haha, Kaldra. All right, the race is on. The race is on, boys. Dash a Ragavan. All right, we're 5ing each other each turn. What do they exile? They exiled Windswept Teeth. All right. Oh, they're gonna Undying it. Okay, so we can't win the race anymore because that represents 13 damage. Oh wait, no, we have Den of the Bugbear, so we can deal 9 right now. All right, red and white. That doesn't help. So I guess we go activate this. Shinka, this one more. Swing here. Then post-combat, Esper Sentinel, pass turn. And now they can still hit us with Dothy, but they can't attack in profitably with Ragavan or Fury anymore. Yep. So now if we attack with Kaldra... Okay, so Dothy cannot block. Feign Death on the Fury? Okay. Are they going to... No, okay, what are they... Oh, they're going to... So they're going to make it so that when I block it, it'll come back and kill my other creatures? Is that what they're doing? Okay, well, that's fine. Because Kaldra and Den are still lethal. So they have 1 card in their hand, which can be a removal spell for Den, maybe. Oh, Pyro. So they have 3 total toughness and blocking, so they can block Kaldra, so Kaldra tramples over for 4, and they can block Den, and then they take 4 damage. They take 3 damage from Kaldra and 1 from the token and go to 2. Animate Den, attack with both, block Kaldra with Pyromancer, block Den with Ragavan, trample for 3, take 1, go to 2, then I'm dead on the backswing. I'm at 8, which means I can block Fury with Kaldra and take 7 from the rest of the team, and then I die to a bolt. So I think let's just repeated reverb first, and then monomorphos and see what we draw. All right, that's pretty friggin' good. So I can bolt Pyromancer out of the way, animate, kill them. All right, Xaxes. Yeah, let's go. Sunforger beating tier 1 scam decks. On to round 4. Won the die roll. This hand is pretty bad. We have a turn 1 Ragavan on the play with removal and then a bunch of redraws off our lands. I think it's good enough to keep. All right, what are we up against? Silent Clearing. Esper Sentinel. So probably black-white hammer is my guess. All right, they're going to get to draw a card, but we have to do it. All right, what we hit? Solitude. All right. So yeah, I'm guessing hammer. Okay, Mox Amber. Thalia. So I guess not hammer. Is this like black-white D&T? But the Mox Amber's throwing me. Okay, pass the turn. I suppose it might not be black. They might just be playing Silent Clearing as lands that you can sack to draw cards. Esper Sentinel from exile. Okay. Oh, they're also going to attack with others? No, okay. No? All right, no attacks. Let's play Ranger Captain and then go fetch Fervent Champion. And then I don't know that we even need to play the Fervent Champion right now. Like, yeah, let's just not. So even if they were going to attack, we at least have Ranger Captain, which can block their board. They do have Solitudes in their deck, though, which means if they get to another mana, they can just Solitude it. 1 mana, Force of Virtue, pitching Amiria's Call. All right. So it's the Shoal deck, presumably. Skrelv. What's this exact text on this? Another target creature you control is toxic, hexproof, and it can't be blocked by creatures of that color. Okay, they're attacking with the Sentinels? Really? I do have another Ragavan. What can they have for 1 mana? Sure. Let's block. A Gonjo. All right. I think I just dash this Ragavan now while I can. And then the Fervent Champion's not going to really be able to block either, but I do want to see what I hit off of it. If I hit something that costs 3, I would rather just cast that as opposed to have Fervent Champion in play. All right, what are we getting? Trigger Ragavan. Exiling. Flowering of the White Tree. Legendary creatures you control get +2, non-legendaries get +1. Well, I will definitely cast that. It's going to cost me 3, and I have to pay, and I can't pay for Esper Sentinel either. I think it's still worth it. And then I will cast this Fervent, because then it'll be a 2/2 first strike. It's not protection, right? It's just hexproof and can't be blocked. Yeah. All right, so this keeps back the other 2 creatures. It can trade with Thalia if needed. I think I probably do just have to trade with Thalia if they attack with it. Because without Sunforger, I'm not doing anything with this Fervent Champion. It also, no, okay, it does not take them off the legendaries because Skrelv gives Mox Amber mana. I think it's still probably correct to block. Like, even if I draw Sunforger, it costs 4 to cast it, and they get to draw a card off of it. I just need to get these taxing effects off the board as I can, so if I'm forced to trade, then so be it. All right, they're making Esper Sentinel unblockable. That's fine. Sure. And then Thalia being held back means I can't attack in with Ragavan. Champion of the Parish. Okay. Whew, these draws. So dashing Ragavan does nothing, so I may as well redraw and see what I get. Bolt. Okay, so bolting Thalia gives them a card. So let's just play Ragavan normally. And then I can bolt Thalia, but if I do, they get to draw off Esper Sentinel. So I think I just wait. Let's just play Arid Mesa, and then if I have to bolt something, I will. They do also have Skrelv in play, so it depends. But if they want to keep attacking in unperturbed, then they do have to activate Skrelv beforehand. There's also the possibility that this champion gets out of hand as well as the game goes on. But I think now, given their board state, my out is probably drawing into Sunforger, which means I need to kill Thalia at some point. Yeah, that means I have no good blocks, because now I don't want to trade anymore. This is red now, right? Yeah. If I want to bolt Thalia, I have to spend my whole turn doing it if I don't want them to draw off Esper Sentinel. But it doesn't seem like they have, like, anything to do, because they didn't even play a creature. Oh my god, Monomorphose too. Okay, what am I doing? Playing a land, paying for bolting Thalia, and then just yikes. Or I could, if they make the same play as last turn, I guess I can bolt Champion of the Parish, attack with Ragavan, get a treasure. That doesn't seem great either. Oh, maybe it's just Sunbaked pass the turn, try to bolt Thalia. Yeah, alright, go. On the other hand, this Ragavan is really not blocking at all. Maybe I should just attack with it anyway. And if they trade with Champion, then whatever. Because I can't block with this Ragavan regardless, so may as well just trade it off. Yeah, that's fine. So, pass. I assume they'll do exactly the same thing. They'll just pro Esper Sentinel, attack with both of them. They're going to go down to 2 mana with Thalia. I guess they probably have mostly creatures. Alright, attack me. Just Thalia. Alright, well, I guess I'm forced to block now. Let's see if they do anything. Nothing? Alright. I should have bolted Skrelv while we were still in combat. I would like to pay the 2. Now, this new Mox Amber cannot tap for mana. So I wonder if they had, like, Sarah Paragon in their hand. Another Thalia. Alright. Kithian. Alright, I really need to draw something, so sack to draw a card. Yikes. Okay, so 3 mana to give it indestructible. This has first strike. So if I cast, let's say, pay 3 mana for Monomorphose, triggers the Esper Sentinel, he draws a card, I draw something else, I have 3 to 4 mana left over. I can spend 2 of it to kill Thalia and then play Ragavan as a blocker, none of which is really that good, but I think I'm just forced to do it. Alternatively, I go Bolt Thalia, pay 2, do nothing. Do not pay for the Esper Sentinel. I guess I could just pay for it, right? I have to shock myself, though, in order to have the mana to do all of this. So I go Bolt Thalia, pay 4, shock and Sacred Foundry, play Ragavan, and then if he attacks with both, I can trade with Esper Sentinel. All right, that seems better. All right, Bolt Thalia. And then shock this and cast Ragavan. He can make Kythian indestructible, but not Esper Sentinel, so I can at least trade with the Esper Sentinel. Or he just attacks me and I go to 1. 3 mana. If he wants to make Kythian indestructible, he can't spend his turn doing anything else. Or he could just attack with Kythian. I'm not going to block it. And then advance his board. All right, block. Assume he has another creature to play. Yep. Thalia number 3. Okay, so if I play Stoneforge, then I don't have 2 blockers. So I need to Monomorphose, and then I'll have 4 mana. And then I need to have 2 creatures. Red and white. That is 2 creatures. So I think I lose both my creatures in combat, though. Because I have to block the first strikers on here, and then I have to block here and force him to spend his turn indestructible Kythian. So Kaldra only works if I draw an untapped... Oh, I can't even... There's no land that I can draw untapped, right? Or no, I can draw Shinka or a Gonjo. All right. So in order to survive, the turn has to play out like this. Attacks with both. I block both. Fervent goes on Thalia, Stoneforge goes on Kythian. He spends his turn paying the 3 to make his guy indestructible, or he doesn't, and these just trade with each other, and then he plays another creature. And then I have to exactly have a 7th untapped land, which can only be, since I'm at 1, I can't fetch or shock, so it can only be Shinka or a Gonjo. Yeah, so block here, block here. Actually, I could have tutored for Shadow Spear. No, I couldn't have cast Shadow Spear. All right, is it a creature or a land that's untapped? It is a creature. Oh, I guess I have Den of the Bugbear activation. Hang on. So I can activate Den of the Bugbear, but then I'm just trading for no reason. So it's better to cast Stoneforge, right? And then I grab Shadow Spear, play Equip. So let's grab Shadow Spear, play Shadow Spear, equip Shadow Spear. Oh, they have Solitude. And then I only go up to 3 and then I die to Kythian. All right, concede. All right, sideboard-wise. Surge doesn't do anything. Silence, Burnt In, Hallowed Moonlight, Rest in Peace do nothing. They are mostly playing basic lands, so the Blood Moon doesn't do anything. Wear Tear to kill. They have multiple artifact creatures. Esper Sentinel, Skrelv. They have Force of Virtue, so that kills plenty of stuff. Now, what do I not want? Surge, and I don't want... They're not playing that many of their own non-creature spells anyway, so Esper Sentinel's bad. Boros Charm... They're playing Thalia and Esper Sentinel, which means any non-creature spells that I play are worse than normal. So it's like, is Boros Charm better than Esper Sentinel? They also have Solitude as removal, and they are in all likelihood playing some other kind of exile-based removal, like maybe Skyclave Apparition or something. So I think we just stick with this. All right, submit. Just as a reminder while we're waiting, this stream is sponsored by CollectorLegion.com. So if you're looking for Magic singles, accessories, sealed product, or even other card games, you can visit their website, CollectorLegion.com. I'd like to play first. Ragavan on turn 1 plus no removal but Reprieve is okay. Keep. And then if I ever draw a 3rd land, I just find Ranger Captain. I play Ranger Captain, which gets me Fervent Champion for Sunforger. It is awkward that repeated reverberation's in the hand, and that this hand is really not great against like Thalia, but what can you do? If they play Esper Sentinel on turn 1, I'm 100% attacking Ragavan into it, so that I can hold up Reprieve without having to pay for it. Gemstone Caverns? What is this deck? Exiling Force of Virtue. So if they just go land Thalia, we're really in bad shape. Kythian and no other land? Really? No, okay. All right, I guess I just attack into Kythian. Let's play a land first in case we have to Reprieve for some reason. They didn't block. I do not want to cast Thalia's Lieutenant. Just go grab Kaldra. So they didn't have a 2-drop, or else they would have just played that instead of Kythian. Unless their 2-drop was like Thalia's Lieutenant or something that was just bad to play. So if they can't answer Stoneforge, which I imagine they cannot unless they have Solitude, but that's another 2 cards down from them. Mox Amber. Play Adeline. All right, block the 1/1. All right, am I the aggro here? I can slam Kaldra and then just attack them, but then I'm probably taking more on the backswing from Adeline than I am dealing them damage. Stoneforge, Kaldra, they go to 12, then they attack with both of these plus a token. So Adeline becomes 3 power, plus, so 3, 4, 6, and then I'm just losing the race. I think I just hold up Kaldra and Reprieve. I can't attack with Ragavan into Adeline. All right. Yeah, so just pass the turn. So they have 4 mana. They had 1 card in their hand. They didn't play, well, it could be anything. Just because they didn't play that. They had Adeline to play, so it's not necessarily bad. So they know I'm going to flash Kaldra in. and then I can pseudo protect it with Reprieve. Reprieve is also really, really good against the Evoke Elementals. Draw a card. All right, so they have just nothing good going on. Thali's Lieutenant, sure. Oh, I should have reprieved that. I guess I just was thinking that, like, yeah, that spell doesn't matter. All right. Ooh. I can't play this and hold up Reprieve, though. I can make Fervent Champion into a blocker that's really hard to attack through, though. I think it's still probably better. Like, I win the long game if I can just get the Fervent combo off, so it's probably better to just play Fervent, do nothing, hold Reprieve plus Stoneforge up. The fact that my opponent had to draw a card with their land last turn just tells me their hand's probably pretty bad. Or they have exactly Force of Virtue or Solitude. Another land, which they didn't play last turn, so that means they probably just drew that. They have no good attacks because we can just block Huldra, Adeline, or anything else. So if they do nothing, we're going to Stoneforge in. Yeah, they can, even if I reprieve Skrelv, it doesn't matter. They'll just play it again. So that's fine. They're not going to attack. All right, Stoneforge, or put Sunforger into play. What? I clicked Sunforger. What just happened? Oh, did I, like, click off of it somehow? Well, so they can Skrelv Adeline, and then Adeline gets to attack for free. Activate Stoneforge, pay the mana, put Sunforger into play. I have only good attacks. Oh, I guess no, they can make Kythian indestructible, right? Yeah. What can I go grab? I can go grab Soul Partition to get rid of Adeline while this can't target it. I guess if they want to attack with it, though, they have to activate Skrelv beforehand, so that's fine. So we're just going to continue in this stalemate for a little bit until I can start doing Sunforger stuff. I had nothing else to do last turn, so their card is either like just a dead card or it's like Solitude and they had nothing and they didn't want to pitch Skrelv to it or something. Attack just with Kythian. All right. Then make Kythian pro something or other. Sure. Pro black, or can't block with black creatures. So I can block here. If I block here, he activates, and then I can unattach Sunforger, but then I'm down on the mana that I need. I think I'm willing to trade Ragavan for them tapping out. All right, so now we win, right? Swing in with both of these. I can just win regardless, but let's just hit him down. All right. Unattach Sunforger, cast Repeated, equip here, unattach, grab Monomorphose, make 3 Monomorphoses, resolve the first one, red and white, resolve the second one, red and white, resolve the third one, red and white, Sunforger, unattach Sunforger, grab Repeated, cast without paying, attach, Repeated, bolt. All right, game 3. Same board, I think. I don't see any of these cards being useful in this matchup, except maybe Boros Charm, I guess. So yeah, run it back. We have 1 land and cannot really do anything. Well, we have no lands. All right, not looking good. What are we putting back? Cauldra and I guess so Monomorphose is a redraw. Oh no, I should just put back Esper Sentinel. Like, what am I thinking? Yeah, Esper Sentinel. Done. All right. I wonder if I just don't block here so that I have a creature to attach sword to. No, they're not going to attack me anyway. I guess just cycle Monomorphose and see what we get. Well, we got nothing, so we're passing. They had nothing to do on turn 2 either. They're going to evoke Solitude to kill my Esper Sentinel. Even though they could just pay the 3 to make Kythian indestructible? Really? Because they want to play... No? Alright, well, things are not going well now. So we're going to lose very, very quickly to this. That doesn't help. All right, well, I'm going to play the sword, and then hopefully we draw a creature next turn. So we're taking 5, 7, 9. Oh, this thing flips too. What does it become? A 4/4 that's indestructible? Ooh, and another Kythian. So we're literally dead on board, even if we can block Adeline, and we drew nothing. All right, good game, guys. Whew, that was rough. Final match of the day. All right, here we go. Final match on the play. Hand is not great, but it is acceptable. I guess we probably just go Sacred Foundry, Shadowspear Pass. Or Soken's on Shadowspear Pass. Is that worthwhile? Should I hold up Surge of Salvation? I mean, we don't know what we're playing against. Like, obviously, if we're playing against Scam, we want to hold up Surge. But other than exactly a Thoughtseize deck, it's better to just run out Shadowspear on turn 1. Bolting is also good. Maybe it's better to just play Fetch Land and then just pass and hold both of these up. If our opponent plays a turn 1 creature or a turn 1 Thoughtseize, we can answer both of them. Or we can answer either of them. Well, Blackcleave Cliffs. All right, Sacred Foundry, pay the 2, bolt this. So now let's just play Soken's on, play the Shadowspear, and hold up Surge. I really, really want them to try griefing us so that we can stop it. Now they're just going to play Dothy or something. Dashing a Ragavan. Well, at least we get to go Ranger Captain, go find Fervent next turn. All right. Use the ability, go grab Fervent Champion, pass the turn. So they have the mana to grief now if they want, or just like cast removal and dash Ragavan. Fury, okay. Oh, I should have activated this in response, damn it. All kinds of mistakes today. All kinds of mistakes. Yeah, messed that up. And now they will dash Ragavan. So we can soul partition this. We can also play Fervent and equip Shadow Spear, but that doesn't get it out of range of removal. The exiled Ranger, which they can't cast. Dothy, okay. Well, we're going to lose the damage race, so now what? We have to get that off the board, so we have to cast Soul Partition. This at least blocks Ragavan, so I think we keep that. All right, so let's play Shinka, and then let's just pass the turn. So Soul Partition this. It is going to go under Dothy, which means they can cast it too, but that's fine. All right, hit that. Takanuma. All right, so they have Ragavan and one unknown. So cast Ragavan normally, one unknown. Oh, I can Stoneforge for Sunforger. Seems good to me. Stoneforge for Sunforger, make Fervent Champion a 6/2 with lifelink, attack them, have one blocker back for Ragavan. Oh, I could also grab Sword of Fire and Ice. That might be better, actually. Do they have Fatal Push or something? They thought for a really long time before Stoneforge resolved, and then they just let all of this resolve really quickly. Let's kill Dothy. We drew the Sunforger off the sword trigger. Somehow, I'm making a comeback in this game that I've screwed up 2 different cards in already. I will snap block that. So the only removal in their deck that kills Fervent Champion now is Push. They can also call against command to destroy the sword, but not the Fervent. All right, we somehow got there. What are we doing in game 2? Surge in, Burnton, Forge Tender in. So the last time we did Rest in Peace, that's pretty bad on the draw. Maybe just Hallowed is better. So Hallowed. Cutting Ragavan on the draw, and one of these, and one of these. All right, we got Fervent Esper and a redraw. This is kind of not great, but we can at least like block Ragavan pretty well. It's also bad to mulligan against the Thoughtseize Grief deck. I'll keep it. Agonjo can also act as a removal spell if we need it to. All right, if we get double griefed, then so be it. Yep, we get double griefed. I assume they'll take Monomorphos to deny us the redraw, but yeah, okay. Well, that's a pretty good draw at least. So, land pass. And our Stoneforge goes away. All right then. They might have Blood Moon, so I do guess I have to kind of play around that. Although we're a red deck, so I doubt they would have kept it. Okay, so we can Monomorphos, and then if we draw a 2-drop, play it. But if we don't draw a 2-drop, then we just have to cycle Hallowed Moonlight, which is not great either. Still, if we draw like Stoneforge Mystic, it's way better to just do that on our turn than to wait. So, and if not, we can just cycle Hallowed. All right, we'll cycle Hallowed. All right then. So now, they're probably playing Pyromancer, and then if we don't draw anything, we go Monomorphos, Agonjo to kill Grief, spreading Terminate and a land. We just have to not die to this Grief is the issue. All right, well now, I guess I'm just going to go fetch Monomorphos, Agonjo, kill Grief. Unless they Thoughtseize us again. Voidwalker, sure. And Thoughtseize. Ugh. I guess we can't Monomorphos now because then we don't have the mana for Gonjo, although they'll see a Gonjo, which means they might just not attack with Grief. But what can we do? Yeah, it resolves. You take Monomorphos. Because if they attack with like just Pyromancer Elemental token, I kind of have to just Agonjo this. I can't just do nothing. No, they're just going to attack with everything anyway. Sure. We are unfortunately at 6 now. Okay, so we can Bolt Voidwalker. I should draw first because I'm going to draw regardless. Double Bolt. We've played a land, right? Yeah. All right, Bolt this. Then we'll go to 3 at the very least. We're dead to Bolt. We're also, yeah, that's not great either. I get another token. Okay, what can we possibly draw to not lose? We have a Bolt to kill this. Then we can Fervent block this, take 2, go to 1. That's atrocious, but... Oh, no, we can't because we don't have double red mana and I have to fetch for red mana. All right, next game. All right, we're on the play. Ragavan back in, which means... Probably not all 4 of them, though. These are worse on the... Are they? Yeah, I guess these are worse. I guess I would rather have them over Reprieve. Is that even true, though? Because you can Reprieve, like, Dothy and Seasoned Pyromancer. Probably just cut some of the combo out of the deck. Yeah, okay. We probably have to win this game. It's more likely that we win the game based on mid-range slugfests than anything else. Esper Sentinel and go. Turn 1 Thoughtseize and we draw a card. All right. I guess I would probably take Moonlight or Bolt. I don't know what they have, though. If I were them, I'd take Bolt, because then I can't play both of these. I can't play Shadow Sphere and hold Bolt up. I guess it depends on what they're doing next turn. Yep, Bolt it is. Okay, I guess we hold up Hallowed Moonlight. So let's play I'm probably cycling this regardless of whether they do anything that it's relevant against. And I may want to cycle Sokens on later. So let's just play this and attack. And yes, attacking means they can dash Ragavan, but you know, what are you going to do? I don't want to trade with a Ragavan anyway. All right, Blood Crypt, presumably. Yep, I guess I'll cycle this in response so they don't get it. Okay, man, we are not doing well here. It's probably just, I guess, is it better to equip Shadow Spear or bolt this? Shadow Spear is the more mana-intensive play, and it means that any of their spells are probably going to trigger Esper Sentinel for me to draw a card. I don't desperately need to kill the Voidwalker. Yeah, let's do that. I can always just bolt it next turn, assuming they don't Thoughtseize me. This is going to be Pyromancer, probably. Or they're casting a removal. Yeah, okay, Pyromancer. They discarded 2 lands. All right. We can't attack into this without trading with it. So is the better move Fervent Champion, equip, attack, bolt, Dothy? Probably. And then we have the mana for Sunbaked Canyon as well. Let's see, if I'm going to draw with this, what would I slam instantly? If I drew Stoneforge Mystic, I would slam that instantly rather than do anything else. All right, in that case, let's kill this. Then let's cast this, let's move this over here, and attack. Then depending on what they do, I might either sack Sunbaked Canyon or just channel Sokens on next turn. They have 5 cards, and they've discarded 2 lands, so I assume they're in reasonable shape. Another Pyromancer, all right. Discard Grief, Thoughtseize. If they Fury us here, that's really bad. Our board's not great to begin with either. Yep, they exiled Ragavan, so now we lose our board, and we have to do what? Depends on our draw. Attack with Pyromancer. Jesus, our draws. Okay. So if we play Sunbaked Canyon, draw a card, and do not draw anything, then we've just spent the turn doing nothing. Whereas if we channel Sokens on, we're at least getting 2 1/1s, and we can then equip one of them with Shadow Spear, but that's still not even very good. So it's probably correct to just cycle. All right. Red and white. Jesus Christ. Well, we're going to lose now. So we're taking minimum 6 down to 8, plus whatever they play. Torok. Awesome. 6 down to 8. They have lethal on board. We have to immediately draw a creature that we can equip the Shadow Spear to. That isn't white, because then Torok can just attack through it. I guess we can block their other creatures. Another land, or another non-thing, which we drew right after they did Torok. All right, I guess we go channel Sokens on, put 1 blocker on Torok, take 7. No, take 6. I don't see how we possibly get out of this. All right, go. Channel Sokens on, make 2 blockers, put one of them in front of Torok. Dothy, Voidwalker, sure. Channel this. Put this here, and then this takes us to 1. This being here doesn't matter at all, all right? We may as well just block, because equipping Shadow Spear to it does nothing. So we may as well just block and take less damage. All right. We're at 3, which is lethal with Dothy, plus all this other stuff on the board. And that'll be game. Oof, that was so rough. So rough. But at least we had fun. So Sunforger, not a good showing. We did like Mold of 5 twice, 3 times, at least, across the league. And I also played it pretty badly. I made multiple mistakes that cost us games. So probably a little bit better, but that would have only been like a 3-2 record. Anyways, that brings us to the end of today's leagues. Remember, stick around. Tomorrow, more of the wheel as we continue to play all the decks in Modern.